Call this meeting of Fayette County Commissioners to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You've all got a copy of the minutes preceding meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? If none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded, the minutes preceding meeting be approved as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll start with the department head reports. Mr. Havlin.
Good morning.
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 We've pretty much completed our chip sealing for season. We've done a little over 14 miles in each area. So we were moving on to other projects. I think we've spent $320,000 total on all the chip sealing. That's oil and gravel mixed together. So we've got a little bit left for our patching machines and stuff like that. We're going to put some hot mix down in some spots, but we're pretty much done with the chip sealing. We're going to move on, and we're trying to trim trees right now for the buses, and that's a slow process, and plus we're doing some ditch work in other areas. That's about the main thing we're trying to do right now, just catch up. Because when we start chip sealing, we have to let everything else go to do it.
I will say, looking at the chip seal that's done, that they've done a super job of putting it down. It looks good.
It actually went down pretty good this year. We got it down quick. It was quick. I was hoping we'd be done by the time school started, and we just made it.
Yeah. Somebody asked me if you were done in Wellsview. If that, I guess you did some, is that chip sealing?
Yeah, we did. In Wellsview, we did from the highway all the way out to 450 East,
Okay.
which is about almost 4 miles.
Right.
So,
And that stuff just has to settle in.
Yeah.
Time.
well, they've already swept it and tried not, but the problem with sweeping it,
Right.
in front of the houses, you can't throw that gravel up into the yards.
Right.
They raise cane, and you just got to let the traffic beat it off mostly.
Right. Okay.
Thanks, Jay. Bill Gray is not here. I guess he's got an emergency to jail. Or
Yeah.
Mr. Houston, is he here to report?
She's the light on.
County Attorney, Chris, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I know it's been discussed about the leftover funds from the economic development income tax. I just wanted to let it be known that you can use that money for economic development or public capital projects, just for your guys' information. And also, I've looked over the technology contract, and it looks pretty standard to me for a technology service agreement. I mean, I know you guys had the same one in the past, and I think it's good to go. And that's all I have right now, unless someone has any questions.
Is that, you're talking about this one?
Right.
And I do have copies ready to be signed if,
Yeah, we'll have you on the
okay.
agenda.
Well, I thought since you were already that point, I was gonna try, because otherwise I'm on the end.
Does anybody have any other questions for Chris?
No.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Ben, I see Ben come in.
The only thing I have for you guys today is the probation department needs to purchase a new scanner for the case processing system that we use. The best price that I had found was $1,400, and that's through globalgoved.com, who's our typical vendor for technology. The other closest bid was a little over $2,000. So that will be their only functional scanner over there. Right now, all of them are malfunctioning. So they're going to try to get by with just the one in their main office there and see if that will suffice for their needs.
Okay.
So that scans the,
That allows them to scan, take paper copies and scan them into the court system.
oh, that's right, okay.
So you don't have quotes on it?
Not in front of me, I apologize. I had a call, and so I'm running a bit behind this morning.
Okay.
So
So you're going to get them for us? Or?
I sure can.
Okay.
Other than that, unless you guys have anything for me.
No, I don't think so. The camera project's going along.
We will be in front of council tonight to ask for
To get the
the appropriation.
Okay.
And then once we have that, we'll move forward.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
And I just want to add on the scanner, we do have a budget for that in the probation department. It won't come out of county general. It'll be user fees that will be used to pay for the purchase for that. We already had an approved budget line item for this year for that, and have plenty of money to cover it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Council representative, is anybody from the council here? Shirley?
I don't have anything new that we're not working on together. Of course, the council was in discussion with you about the new county highway garage and how to best proceed with that.
Okay.
With that issue. Coming up this evening also, we will be asked for a representative to represent the county on the newly created Economic Development Commission, and this will be for working with the TIF funds, or the TIF project
Yes,
area.
Neil.
So that will be coming up this evening as well.
Okay.
Is that commission going to be in place like forever, or is it just for a short time,
The appointment is for 1 year.
for 1 year?
And I don't know this because I haven't read the ordinance. I don't know if did you get a copy of the ordinance,
I'm
Chris?
getting it today from John.
Okay.
I'm not certain, but perhaps the entire commission timeline would go along with the timeline for the bonds. And again, I don't know the answer to that question,
Okay.
Well, I know
truthfully.
the redevelopment commission is reappointed every year, so probably that would be too. Or the
Okay.
economic development,
Probably so.
so I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's all that I have.
Okay,
Thanks, Shirley.
thank you. We have any mail?
Yeah. There was a letter, and I think I might have forwarded this to you. It came through the Indiana Association of County Commissioners, and it's in reference to County Veterans Service Officers, Bobby Smith's office, and it discusses how they're putting in place for training. And it says to get accreditation, and in order to do that, the County Veterans Service Officer employed by the county must work not less than 1,000 hours annually, and we meet that criteria. And it comes along, there's federal regulation that changed that. I did have that received. I don't know whether you were going to, you've got a place to discuss some of those things. We also had a memo from Judge Ertl, which was just giving commissioners, I think, a heads up that he's had an employee quit in his office. And I think he plans on moving the part-time employee in his office up to full-time. And then I think he will address, the part-time employee. I don't think he's addressing that. He has a 144 to come before council tonight to get that approved. And I think that's it. I did also, and I don't know whether you want to call this mail or not, but Adrian Ellis had left this in my office and said it needed to be signed, and it has to do with the EMPG program, which is, Diane, Emergency Management Performance Grant that you've signed off of, and this basically is for his salary reimbursement. Not all of it's reimbursed, but some is. And I think this is just to send in so he gets that reimbursement.
We sure
So
don't
I
want to
have
miss
that.
out on that,
We
right?
sure don't want to miss out on that. So anyway, I have this that you can sign then if you so agree to. You can sign that at the end of the meeting.
We need a motion to approve that, I guess.
Yeah, Emergency Management Performance Grant Effectiveness Measures is what it is.
I think we need a motion to approve this to get the reimbursement.
So moved.
Second.
We move the same, we approve the, signing this to get the reimbursement on Adrian's salary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What portion of his salary gets reimbursed? Do you know?
I'm trying to think. It isn't 100%. I think it's been stated in the past that it was. I don't believe it is 100%. No, it isn't.
Is it close?
See, I don't know why I want to think 18,000, but
I'm thinking you're very close.
yeah.
Very close to being full?
No,
No,
very
very
close
close
to
to
being
being
around
18,000.
18,000,
Oh, okay.
I think. I kind of have to go in and look at last year's what we got.
Okay, getting back to the veterans officer, is that a requirement that he get those certifications, or?
Yeah, I believe it is. It's a 32-hour training program, and then they'll have a course examination. After successful completion of the course and a passing score on the exam, the county veteran service officer may submit the appropriate paperwork to the federal VA requesting accreditation. After accredited, there are additional continuing ed requirements to maintain accreditation, and they're going to give that annually at the IDVA conference.
So that's a requirement for him being a service officer, is to get this accreditation?
Yes.
And what's the cost of? Too
I
much,
don't
did
know
it
that
say?
there, and it actually, I think most everything that he's went to, I think it's just a cost of getting him there, you know.
So there's really nothing we need
I-
to do at this time?
No.
Okay.
no,
All right. Is that all the mail?
I think so.
Now, Ann, we'll get to you.
Oh, how kind of you. Thank you, Barton. Actually, I should probably defer to Attorney Chris. This has been the contract that we've really had. The price hasn't gone up. We lease all the equipment. If anything goes wrong, they
Fix it.
they send us something or send us a technician. The little spot there,
3 copies of it?
3 copies, please.
Did we? did
You approve it. You haven't
We approved
it
this
yet.
subject to Chris's, or we?
He already talked about it.
But I mean, did we not?
Did we in the at the last meeting? I
Yes.
cannot remember, to tell you the truth.
I think we did.
Wait, the funds, were the funds approved for it?
She has, yeah.
I have
Yes,
funds,
yes.
It's all non-taxpayer.
She got the councils.
I was thinking we approved the last meeting, so that Chris
Subject to-
approved it, but
Here we go, here's the commissioners. It was at the end of the meeting. No, it just says, County Attorney Chris Appel will review the contract prior to Commissioners signing the contract.
well, based
So
on
you
Chris
did that.
giving a report that he's given his approval of the language of the contract, I'd entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll sign this as soon as the meeting's over.
And then Debbie, do you want to give those to me and I'll send them to ACS?
Yes,
Have them
I
sign.
will.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
very much.
Okay.
You skipped senior center.
We're at.
8, new business A. Because I was going to have you move it up, so.
No, I was in old business contract.
Oh,
with
you were in,
Carter.
okay, so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay.
The next item I have on old business is
I have a few comments.
the highway garage, the engineer's report. As most of you probably know, we've had a lot of concern about the highway garage. The last meeting, we voted to have an engineer go down there and look at, to see what the condition of that was. The reason for that being, 2 months ago in the council meeting, it was reported by one of the council that it had been inspected and should have been condemned. And then last meeting, at the council meeting, they had changed their mind and they wanted us to go down and repair it. And one of the council members took it on themselves to have Miles Richmond go down and look at the building. I didn't know anything about it, but I got a report from them. But at any rate, being we had it stated that at one time the building should have been condemned, I thought for the liability issue alone, we should have a certified engineer go down and look at the building and see what the condition of the building was. Because if in fact it should be condemned, we didn't want employees working in there and the building falling down and getting hurt. We got our engineer's report back. When the engineer come down, I told him I had two questions I wanted him to answer. One was the building safe to be in? And the second was it economically feasible to repair the building? We got the report back, and I won't read the whole report, but I will read a couple of lines which gives the meat of the report. It said the building can be expected to continue to rot and experience movement over the upcoming months of operation. Continued movement combined with severe weather events is concerned. Repair of the structure does not appear to be a cost-effective solution for the amount of deterioration observed during the meeting. Now, he did say in there that he did not think it was imminent that we move the employees out. But, and he's talking about months instead of years of deterioration of that building. Anyway, the main thing is the engineer says it will not be cost-effective to repair the building. So, in my opinion, the commissioners should decide to take steps to either acquire an existing building or to build a new structure.
Mr. President, may I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
I'm in favor of building a new building. And for those that are watching us by way of television, I'd like for you to understand that the monies are there in a dedicated fund, capital improvement fund, which cannot be used to pay salaries, to pay insurance, or anything of that nature. It is a fund specific to capital improvement matters, building a building, a giant renovation of a project, a new roof on the jail, which was done year before last, I believe. This is not monies that could be used to fix the highways or anything of that nature. Am I right, Mrs. Kidd?
That's correct.
Okay.
You're talking Cumulative Capital Improvement Fund, and that can only be used for.
So these monies can only be used for that purpose. The building down there is deteriorating. Most, if not all of the posts are rotten. And if you rebuild that building, at the end of it, what you still have is a pole barn. The mechanic has to back the dump trucks out and to raise the beds to work on them and work them on outside in the weather. There is a need for additional workspace, and quite frankly, I don't want to do something halfway. If we're going to do it, let's do it right and do it the right way. As again, those are monies that can only be used for a project like this. So I am in favor of building a new building.
I was going to say a few words. After everything that came through, and I looked at it, and I wanted to see what I saw first before I made a decision. If you spend the money to repair this building, 10, 15 years you're going to be doing it again. And you're going to be doing it again, and you're going to spend this money. By that time, over the course of the period, you could have just built a new garage that's going to last you. And we're not looking at pole barn construction. That's what we want to stay away from, because we don't want 25 years taxpayers to have to build a new garage. Just build one that's going to last a long, long time, and we can just get away from this. So after careful consideration of what I had looked at, the only feasible thing I can see is to build something, because they need more space, and they need the building needs to be sustainable. So with that said, That's my decision.
Is there anybody in the audience that wants to make a comment about a garage, because it seems to be the most controversial thing right now? No?
Do you need a motion as to, a formal motion as to how you think the commissioners should proceed?
Yeah, yes, I think so, and I think the motion should be that we're plain not going to repair that building down there based on this engineer's report, and go on and give us a new building. And then if we get that, then I will go to the council tonight and ask them and explain it to them and ask them to advertise for at least appropriation so we can proceed. It's time to get started.
I would say that before we get this going, that we get bids as far as,
We have to.
We have to do
Right.
that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
You know, if we build a building, we'll have to interview architects, we'll have to hire an architect, and he'll have to draw the plans and take bids on what we decide we want to do.
Given that, I will make a motion that it be the position of the Fayette County Commissioners that we not repair the existing building at the county highway garage, that we take steps for building a new building, a steel frame building, which should last a long time and down the road not be a burden to the Fayette County taxpayers.
I second.
Moving and second, that the commissioners take the position that they want to build a new highway garage. Is there any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Martin, before you vote,
Yes, ma'am.
and I don't want to interfere with your motion, but under the discussion portion, I do know that there has been some additional discussion about purchasing a building instead of building anew. And I would only ask that maybe you hear the council's opinions this afternoon or this evening's meeting, whether or not they have any more justification to lend you to go one way instead of the other. And I don't know I know you have to spend some money to decide what's the most beneficial cost-wise, whether or not there's a significant difference between buying a building in existence or building a brand new one from scratch. But I think you have to spend money to find out what it costs to build a new building. But can you hold the option open that it might be better to go with one of the existing buildings you've looked at,
Well,
if that's the most
we-
economical?
yeah, yes, we can do that if it's the most economic. With the quotes I've got from the buildings that's been offered to us and a rough estimate by contractors who build buildings, it's pretty much a wash from what we've found so far. But I can assure you that the commissioners will do whatever is most economical to get what we need.
And that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
We are all in favor, say
Do you want me to amend?
If you want to amend it, I mean, there's no, we have already been looking at other buildings, and we do want to get the most economical. I think probably we're going to wind up a steel building that's the most economical. But we can look at both ends, and we sure want to get the best deal. You have several things to consider if you go with another building, the location of it, more the age and the condition of it. I mean, we can't just buy a building because it's cheaper. It has to have the utility to it, the size to it, and the condition. You know, a used building is used, but if you find one in good condition that meets your needs and it's the location you need, that would be fine.
I just know we're doing a building project down at the church, and estimates that we had from back some time ago were used in original estimates, but when we go back and revisit, costs have gone up substantially, and we find that it's going to cost us more than what we originally anticipated. So that's the only reason that
Right,
I'm bringing it up.
and we won't know about the cost of new building until
Until we
we get it designed and get bids on it, and then you will be able to know which is the most economical to do.
Sure.
You know, the used buildings will be there.
Do you want me to reread his motion?
If you want to amend it, that's fine.
I will amend my motion to include also the fact that we will consider any existing buildings presented to us that meet the requirements and needs of a county highway garage.
Right.
Second.
That's in addition to my original
Been
motion.
moved and seconded. Amend the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Hey, Martin,
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have a estimated cost on steel, if you would decide to build a steel frame? Any estimates on what that would cost?
Well, we don't have the building designed, but for, Jay has estimated the size of the building to be about 70 by 300. And we've talked to two contractors that build steel buildings, and they just give us a rough range of 500,000 to 600,000. That's for the complete building. There has been some thought, and I've talked to the building trades, talked to Russ Hodges and building trades out at the high school, and there's a possibility that the interior finished building, the offices and lounge and stuff like that the building trades would be able to do and save us some money and give them a project to work on.
And a follow-up question to that, Martin. The Miles Richmond estimate to go in and remodel,
Well,
any idea on that?
Well, I have the Miles Richmond estimate here, but it's not comparing apples to apples. When you look at the engineer's report of what needs repaired down at the highway garage, is a lot more than what's in this Miles Richmond report. I mean, Miles Richmond is has a good reputation for building, but we're not talking about doing the same things.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's fine, thanks, Paul.
New business, Senior Center Public Transportation Grant, Dinah Wright.
We're just asking permission to apply for this transportation grant, once again through NDOT. We have received notification that if we are awarded, we'll get approximately $143,000 from the federal government. We're going on last year's state estimate, which was $71,099. And we estimate approximately $90,000 will be used in local funds for $304,000. Last year, the budget, we spent over $400,000 which included user fees and all of the above to keep the senior the transportation center operating.
Senior says has done a good job, and this has been successful program in the past, and I think we ought to pass this and allow them to apply for the grant.
Just for your information and for the public, Marva's given me a paper that says last year they did over 37,000 trips.
That's a bunch.
That is a lot of trips. We're estimating over 40,000 trips this year. And those includes trips to as close as to the grocery store and as far away as Indianapolis. They do a lot of runs for medical runs.
Okay. So what's the rest of you think about it?
I'm in favor.
Second.
Been moved to second, we approve applying for the grants. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There you go.
And I do have a resolution. You sent me the resolution, right?
I do.
And-
Sharon has 2 copies.
Oh, does she?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that signed.
We'll sign it after.
Okay, great, thank you.
Fayette County Foundation, Anna Duncan. She's not here.
No, should I have Sharon call? She called and asked to be put on there, and she said it had to, I think it had to do with monies that the foundation is holding that was originally a bequest, I think it was, to the animal shelter years ago. And that was when Fayette Foundation was first starting, and the monies were placed there. We haven't received any interest or anything off the monies for a number of years. And I think that's what it was, to give us some, to give the animal shelter some, maybe interest, I think. I mean, I didn't know much more about it other than what I just said. Do you want me to have?
But it amounts to about $700 for the animal.
Is that what it was? And that was, because Ann, what was the original bequest?
25,000.
Okay.
So this is, what this is accumulated interest off of that 25,000, I guess.
And like I said, we hadn't received anything for a number of years.
Well, you might have Sharon call to see if we need to do anything to accept the money. We sure don't want to let that get away. Okay, while she's doing that, we'll go on. The commissioners, I guess, kind of want to apologize to the public. We've come to our attention that we had 2 offices that was closed for one day last week. Just a sign on the door said that they had a medical emergency and were not here. The commissioners have the responsibility of setting the hours for the courthouse, and we expect all the offices to be open. No one told me and asked permission to close them, so I don't know what we can do, but I can assure you that the commissioners are going to look in and whatever steps we can take to make sure these offices stay open for the public is going to be done. You set the hours and people expect when they come to the courthouse, whether they're coming from here in Connersville or they're coming from out of town driving down here to do business, that when they get here, there's going to be somebody to take care of them. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you go someplace, drive an hour to get there to do some business in the courthouse, and you're not there and you have to go back, you don't have a good feeling towards them. So what's going to be the answer, I don't know, but we are going to look into it and see what we can do to ensure those offices are open. Next item on the new business is amending the capital plan. As we reported before, our casualty and liability insurance was increased better than double, which is really putting the general fund in a bind. We have money in the edit funds, in the courthouse operating funds that are not appropriated and are just sitting there, and they can be used for the operation of the courthouse or in this case insurance. So what we need to do is amend the capital plan and put that in there. And I don't have a dollar amount here.
It's $105,000.
105.
Yeah. It was money that was in, when the edit funds come in twice a year, well, they come in monthly and then twice a year, based on the capital plan, we put those funds either disperse to the city their share or put it in one of 2 funds. One is county share of edit funds, which we use for economic development projects, and the other is courthouse operating fund. And we have residual monies that had accumulated from unspent prior appropriations in the courthouse operating fund. And we had to basically transfer monies from 2 utility line items in county general in order to get that insurance bill paid. So if we use these monies, then we can save doing an additional into county general in order to pay those utility expenses through the end of the year. We appropriate $100,000 per the plan every year, and then this would be in addition, well, it's actually for this year.
This is money that had been put
there
in the
and
capital plan
unused.
for this purpose and just wasn't spent. The expenses didn't come up to what we put in there. So it's, that's what the money was originally for, was paying courthouse expenses. But we just need to amend the plan so we can take it out there and put it in the general, or spend the money out of this instead of spending out of the general fund for this bill. Is there any questions?
I'll move that we approve the expenditures,
The amendment of the capital plan.
amendment of the capital plan for $105,000.
And that was already approved, so I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, we amend the capital plan to take $105,000 out of the residual funds of the courthouse funds. Is there any discussion? Anybody in the audience that wants to comment on that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
This is an additional for this amount has been put in and will be heard for
Tonight.
council tonight. So
Right.
it's still subject to council approval.
Right. That is the end of the new business that I have. Do we have any patrons' concerns?
You don't introduce cemetery board.
Where are they at?
Mr. President,
Right
I
there,
have
C.
something. That's right, they're not here, but I have something to comment on the cemetery board and ask the commissioners.
Okay.
It's come to my
I missed
attention
it.
that
I missed it.
Doug Keller has been absent as a commission board member. He's had some health issues or whatever, he's had some other issues, he's been busy. And it was come to my attention that he was going to resign, and I have not gotten a resignation letter. None of the commissioners have that I know of. So I'm asking to move that he be stepped down as a board member through the commissioners, that we just resolve his ability as being a part of the cemetery commission, and they can start looking for a new member. As of now, basically, it's 4 people running the commission, and there needs to be 5.
Would it be proper to get a hold of Mr. Keller and give him the courtesy of resigning if he wants to, or explain that he...
Have you already noticed? Or has someone else done so?
We have contacted him to know resolve as far as, somebody said to send the letter certified, and we just, either he's busy or whatever the case may be, but we can give him another shot. I just brought it up.
Well, I just wondered if you would give him a call and put it on the agenda, and tell him, and I think he's reasonable, he knows that
Right.
we have to do something.
Right.
Okay. Jenna Turner,
Yes.
I almost forgot you. but I
Basically,
did.
it's what Ben presented earlier. He did get quotes for the scanner. And I'm just asking for approval for us to purchase the scanner. Currently, we have,
This is the same thing he's talking about before.
Yes, sir.
But you do have quotes now.
currently we have cheaper models, basically, and it's resulted in we have to feed in 1 page at a time. We have up to 30 to 40 pages. The state's requiring us to scan more and more documents to send to the state. That's a requirement by them. So basically, we're asking for a scanner that's more heavy duty, that will last, and that will save time in my office to be able to scan at that bulk rate. Then I don't even know what we have right now, but
Currently, they have what I would consider small business models from HP. As she said, you feed one at a time. The best quote, in my opinion, is the second quote I handed you from globalgoved.com in the range of $1,300, I believe, $76.
Well, big spread on two
Yes.
prices, isn't it?
Yes. The one from Global GovEd will handle up to 50 sheets at one time, can scan both front and back, and also comes with a flatbed scanner option attached to it, so they would have a flatbed and the automatic document feeder that they can use, their choice. It's fully compatible with the case processing programs that the courts and probation use, and in my opinion is the better option, especially for the price.
And the funds for this are going to come from where?
Probation user fees.
we already have an approved budget line item for technology upgrades, and that's where I would file the claim to the auditor for, and we have plenty. I think we have 13,000.
Okay, so you don't have to ask for any additional appropriation.
No,
to get it.
it's just approval for us to spend that higher amount than what we would normally spend for any technology in our office.
Okay.
I'm a warranty guy, so is there any warranties with this? Or is it-
Typically with Fujitsu, and forgive me because I don't know that I looked that up specifically, but typically for Fujitsu, it's a 1-year parts.
Okay.
Got any other questions for Ben or Jenna? No, we may need to make a decision on whether to approve the purchase of the scanner.
How long can you wait before we get to theatrical effect, Jenna?
You know what? If you want to let my secretaries know they have to feed the document in one at a time, and if the jam's halfway through, you have to start all over
It's
again.
a waste of their time.
You're more than welcome to go over there, because I'll just blame you.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the quote from globalgoved.com for $1,368.69 for a scanner for probation.
I second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the contract from Globe for $1,368.69. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, do we have any other patrons' concerns? I'll entertain a motion for approval of the claims and the payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the claims and the payroll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Before we adjourn, does anybody have any comments or concerns? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.